Probably one of the most disgusting videos that I've seen since I've been discussing this particular issue with Israel and Gaza is this interview with Daniela Weiss and Piers Morgan. This woman is called the godfather of the settler movement, which is taking place in the West Bank. And I don't think I've ever seen anything more vile before in my life. Let's go ahead and get into it. This woman has no shame. It's absolutely gross. We'll start at the beginning here.
We'll turn to the bigger picture, and Israel strikes today on Syria, as well as the Mossad conspiracies and anti-Semitism claims at the heart of the Epstein Files debate. We'll begin by talking to Daniela Weiss, who you just saw in that Louis Theroux clip, the leader of the settler group Nahala. Well, welcome to you, Daniela Weiss. Thank you for joining me on Uncensored. Let me start by asking you, Mrs. Weiss, you're known as the godmother of the Israeli settler movement. Is your ultimate ambition for all Palestinians to be removed from the West Bank and Gaza?
You ask if it's my what I want. It's not ambition. Ambition I put into positive things. I mean, when people have to move from one place to another, it's not a question of ambition. I think there is no choice now, especially after the massacre of the 7th of October. The Gazans finished their chapter of history in Gaza, and they will have the terrorists themselves will be killed in the attacks of the Israeli army.
Notice how she's not answering the question. Yeah. See, notice how one of the first things that she goes to, instead of just answering his question, she brings up October 7th, right? This is what a lot of them have been doing. The massacre that took place on October 7th, they divert right back to that so that Israel doesn't have to be held accountable for its own crimes. Pay attention to that.
Tzahal, and those who support them will have to go to emigrate to other countries. And I think as far as people who want to live normal life, I think the option to go to other countries in the world is a good option. But it's not a question of ambition. I have an ambition to settle Jews all over the vast areas of the land that was given by God to the Jewish nation. So this.
Everybody, let's stop here for a second. Because see, you see what she said, right? All of the land. This is why I keep telling people it's not just Gaza, it's not just the West Bank. That greater Israel plan that Benjamin Netanyahu has shown Congress and shown others as well, that is what they want to do. And I want to pause on something here and point something out. This has been a psyop. This has been a complete psyop here. This whole message that has been taught to people over and over again, the land was given to us by God, that is a lie. I have said this over and over again. The Israel that is mentioned in the Bible is not the modern day Israel of today. The Israel that is mentioned in the Bible isn't a physical place. You guys, this has been probably one of the biggest psyops I think I've ever seen. So many people have been brainwashed into believing this. A lot of Christians get this wrong. A lot of them get it wrong. No. The indigenous people, she is not indigenous to the land. This woman is a settler. She is leading the settler movement. People are coming from all over the world, even states here in the United States, and taking Palestinian people's homes in the West Bank because they are told that the land belongs to them. That is probably one of the biggest psyops that I have seen in history. The fact that so many people have fallen for this, even Christians who claim they're reading the Bible, and I grew up in the church, who say they're reading the Bible, don't even read in between the lines, aren't really reading what the text says. And the pastors, you have pastors who are preaching this message over and over again. So people aren't actually reading what the Bible says itself. They're listening to the message that is coming from the pastor. And I got to tell you, this one right here has probably been one of the biggest psyops I think I've ever seen. Absolutely unbelievable.
This is my ambition. And in the midst of things, with the attacks of Arabs in different periods of history, and especially I emphasize now the last attack, the last massacre on civilian population, that was the end of the history of the Gazans in Gaza.
But it
doesn't have to do with ambition.
Okay, there are 2 million people living in Gaza. Half of those people are under 18 years of age. More than 20,000 Gazan children have now been killed since October the 7th. My follow-up question is, how many of the innocent Gazans, how many of the Palestinian children do you think should come to, say, Israel and to be allowed to settle there?
To settle in Israel?
Yes.
Let me pause for a second because his framing is wrong. What do you mean the Palestinian children should be allowed to come to Israel and settle there? They're indigenous. It's their home. Why are you framing it as come and settle there when it's their home? She is the settler. This is the part again, I told you guys what Piers Morgan does. These little games that he plays. Why are you asking for the Palestinians to be able to settle? You're using the word settle when it's their land. It's their homeland. So that's dangerous because I don't want people to start referring to them as settlers. The Palestinian people are not settlers. They were kicked out of the land and kicked into Gaza. They were put into Gaza. A lot of those people in Gaza are refugees. So what do you mean? Do not refer to them as settlers. That part is important.
Why?
You said if you're going to tell them, if you tell them to leave, well, because if you tell them to leave their home and you say that they should live in other countries, why would Israel not want to provide a home for them?
No. Because the conflict between Israel and the Gazans brought this chapter into its end. We don't take any chance anymore. Many soldiers told me, some of them from my own family, that they were witness to so much talk and propaganda against Israel. And I think that there shouldn't be anymore any touch, any connection with between the Gaza population and the Jewish state.
That was established prior to October 7th. That is the Zionist project. So she, again, is framing it to make people believe these are the Zionist lies. She's framing it to make people believe that this collaboration cannot happen because of October 7th. But it was already established that you didn't want to live side by side with them prior to October 7th. That's what the Nakba was all about. That was back in the 1940s, was the Nakba. So this was already decided that you didn't want the Palestinian people there. It's ethnic cleansing. They want to cleanse the land. You have these European settlers who moved, and there were some Jewish people who were already there. But you had European settlers who moved to that area. And then later on, you had Americans move there to that area. And they decide, yeah, we're just going to kick all you guys out. This land belongs to us. And they started practicing similar supremacy that was done towards them. That's what this is. I ain't buy this. Like I said, it's a psyop. This woman that's sitting here, and all this, the land is promised to me. And I'm not buying this. This European woman is sitting here. That's a European woman sitting right there, pretending that she's indigenous. She's not indigenous. She's a settler. And it is what it is. Imagine if someone moved to your city or your town or your neighborhood and they said, man, I really like it here. I feel like this is promised to me. And they move in there and they say, all of you got to go. How would you feel? How would you feel if another group came to your neighborhood, your town, and said, all of you who've been living here all this time have got to get the hell out? This is our place now. You wouldn't like it, would you? That's what happened. What a freaking psycho.
Let them be in other countries. There's 100 million Egyptians in Egypt. So there will be another 500,000 Gazans in Egypt, and some will be in Indonesia, other countries.
Okay, but if I suggest that we carve out an area of Israel to put the Palestinians, we just slice off. Let me finish. We slice off an area of Israel, and all the Israelis who currently live there have to leave and go and live in another country. Are you happy about that? Would you be happy with that?
You have some. You have some psychological need to slice pieces of the tiny state of Israel.
No. I'm just saying.
What's this need?
Listen. Gaza, as you know. Well, hang on. Let me finish. Gaza, as you know, is a very small territory. I'm talking about a similar sized territory.
Is what? Gaza is what?
I'm talking about, it's a very small territory.
Gaza is what?
Gaza is very small.
And I know.
So I'm talking about taking
Indonesia.
I'm talking about
Africa is big.
Let me finish. I'm talking about taking the Gazan people, the innocent Gazan people, not Hamas, but innocent Gazan people. And I'm talking about taking a piece of Israel and removing all the Israelis who currently live there and sending them off to other countries. And then you put the Palestinian people in that space in Israel. How would you feel about
that? It's not a question of feel. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Why would that be wrong?
Why would that be wrong, Mrs. Weiss? Why would that be wrong?
Because it failed. We left Gaza in 2005, and we were promised that Gaza will be Singapore. And I didn't believe in it, but many Israelis did believe in it. And
what do you mean you were promised that Gaza would be Singapore? That's really none of your business. Like you push. One more part of this we're going to show because my patience is wearing very thin. The game that Piers Morgan plays by bringing this woman onto this show, this is what I was talking about. This woman is not just a Zionist. This woman is the leader of the settler movement. This woman is the one who okays these settlers to go and burn Palestinians' homes, to beat Palestinians in the West Bank and take their stuff. That is who Piers Morgan brought onto his show. These are the games that Piers Morgan plays. So yeah, he'll bring on Abby Martin, he'll bring on Katie Halper, he'll bring on, Aaron Mate to talk about the Palestinian side of things and what Israel is doing is wrong. But then he'll bring on the most vile guest to represent Israel, the most vile people. And at the same time, although he's pushing back on her, at the same time, he is giving life to this mess. This is the part I want people to really get. When this woman comes onto the show, he is giving life to it. There are people who are watching this that are going to agree with what this woman is saying. And maybe some who may have been on the fence and they're like, oh, well, let me understand. Listen to the part that she says here about the children.
You don't believe they're Palestinians.
The Jewish success.
You will not refer to them as Palestinians, right?
I think that Palestinians were invented by Adrian, and that the Arabs that come to Israel today want to get for themselves the success of the Jewish state that was created here after many years of dispersion.
Okay, and this is what
the Zionist lies. This woman just said on his show that Palestinians were invented. Like, they were indigenous to the land. Invented. No, you know what's, remember, every accusation is a confession, right? You know what was invented? This idea that that whole territory there is supposed to go to a bunch of Europeans. What this is just colonialism expanded. This is the expansion of colonialism, and the Israel project is the last stage of colonialism. This is it. This is the last stage of it, where these Europeans come into the Middle East and they're going to take over all of this. And you heard Netanyahu say so himself. He said, Africa is next. Next, we'll go on to liberate Africa. This is colonialism. This shit ain't about no damn religion. Israel's a secular state. This is not about no damn religion. This is about ethnic cleansing. This is about colonialism, the colonial expansion, and the last phase of it. That's what this project really is. And it is done under the guise of religion. Listen to what she says about the children.
So how do you feel about the fact that over 20,000 Palestinian children have now been killed since October the 7th in Gaza?
I think that the Palestinians, as you said, you see, I said Palestinians, the Gazans and all Arabs around should stop attacking Israel.
Well, I just asked you how you felt about 20,000 children being killed by the IDF. So how do you feel about that?
I think that the parents should be very careful before they teach the children to hate Jews and to kill Jews.
No, that wasn't my question. That wasn't my question. Sorry to be persistent, but my question.
That was your question.
My question was, how do you feel? Answer. My question was, how do you feel? How do you personally feel about over 20,000 Palestinian children now being killed since October the 7th in Gaza? How do you feel about that?
I think that Arabs, Gazans or Jordanians or Syrians, whoever, should be very, very careful with the way they educate the children.
Yeah, that wasn't my question.
Now,
that wasn't my question.
Many of them.
Can you answer my question?
Answer. That was my answer.
So you don't care? You have no thoughts about these children at all?
You choose your questions, and I answer them the way I believe is right.
But just to...
So does everybody see what's happening here? Instead of answering the question again, she tries to put the blame back on the Palestinian people. The parents should be careful of what they teach their children. Instead of just answering the question, how does she feel about all those kids that have been killed? He gives it one more try.
To be clear, you have nothing to say about 20,000 children being killed. Nothing at all.
I have a lot to say about everything that happened as a result of the massacre of the 7th of October.
I understand you care about Israeli children who died, as do I. But I'm able to care about both sides of children who've died. Why don't you care, seemingly, about the Palestinian children who've died? Why can't you express any sympathy or sorrow or empathy with the children who've died in Gaza? Are you?
Because Israel is a supremacist state. That's why. Piers knows that. This is a game that he plays. That's why. If you have convinced yourself that you are superior to anyone else, why would you care? I've never seen anything just so disgusting, absolutely disgusting. But I will say I do want to end this on a good note, and that is because Blakely, I am Blakely, impersonated her. This is so hilarious. Like, kudos to Blakely for nailing this, and she nailed this to the T. She's like, that woman is like a psychotic monster. Let's go ahead and bring it in. Again, shout out to I Am Blakely for this one. Holy smokes.
Joining us tonight is the Minister of Death, Daniela Weiss. Daniela, thank you for being here. My first question, I guess, is to myself and the entire international community. Why aren't we treating you like the criminal you are?
God.
Settlement, otherwise known in layman's terms as stealing someone's fucking house, is illegal under international law, so why aren't you in jail? You're a terrorist, aren't you? Why aren't you at The Hague?
I'm a criminal and terrorist? Why you talk to me that?
What gives you the right to take Palestinians' land and kick them out of Gaza? And then why can't they come and live in Israel?
Settle in Israel? Why?
No. We're a people that want to live in a land that was given to us divine deed by God.
They attack Israel on the 7th of October, so we get to do whatever we want since the 7th of October. That's when history began. We attack them before the 7th of October, but that doesn't matter because we get to take everything they have anyway and all of their land and kill all their people because we're Israel and we have a divine deed to the land. What is not clear in what I'm saying? Now give me your tax money.
Miss Weiss, I'm giving you one more opportunity to pretend to give a shit about all the dead Palestinian children and understand before you answer that saying you don't care about all the children that Israel's killed has made our jobs in the West of doing propaganda for you a lot harder. Do you understand?
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't care.
Do I look like I care? And if they didn't want to be massacred, they shouldn't have been born Gazan or Arab. Give me a key to your house.
I think
Weiss, Daniela.
I think we have to drop the beat for this one. We're going to drop the beat for Blake. Dance with me. Dance with me. Drop the beat. In the street. Oh my God. That was phenomenal. That was phenomenal. I couldn't let it end on, the note of that woman and what she said about the children. We had to add in some humor there. Shout out to I.M. Blakely. She did the damn thing. But yeah, what a freaking psycho. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.